Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another video. Today we are going to unlock Akira Zaizen, who was finally added to the gate. They announced this for him for the end of October and I've been waiting for this for a few days now. However, the end of October for them this time around meant the very last day of October. Anyways, what do we need to do? Playmaker has to beat him at level 30, summon Decode Talker, summon a Link 4 or higher, win with 1000 or less life points remaining, and perform 5 Link summons in a single duel against him. That last one sounds rough, but it actually is easy. Anyways, let's hop into the duels. In fact, you could do this in one duel against him at level 30, however, I make it easier on myself by just splitting it into 2 duels. A level 30 duel should just focus on winning, and a level 10 duel where I do all the other crap. So, let's see how this goes. If you are afraid of his flip monsters, his Tindangles and Shadows, you could play something like, let's say, Destiny Hero Plasma or the Utopia XYZ monster, which is equipped with a Zexal weapon monster from the structure deck that they released this year. Or you could play Ancient Gear Beast, which negates the effects of monsters it destroys in battle. Ancient Gear Beast, in fact, is a nice pick here, because it is a rare card only, and if you have a few rare tickets lying around, you could just grab 3 copies of those and call it a day here. But anyways, I decided to just wing it and attack with my low-level monsters, not even bothering Link summoning, since I have to Link summon a lot anyways, and I'm going to do this against him at level 10 in the next duel. So I just beat him up, and that was the first mission done. Hooray! It's been a long time since his event, so I don't recall if he at level 30 was actually difficult or not. I might have been extremely lucky in this particular duel that we just watched. Anyways, trying to clear the remaining 4 missions in the next duel against him at level 10. I changed the deck in the meantime. So the biggest thing here should be 5 Link summons, and I have a bunch of Cybers type Link monsters that I got from opening up packs, since this account has been existing for a while, as I said. However, if you don't have those, don't worry, you can just level up your Soulburner to get 3 copies of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and then you can loop. If you have 2 Sunlight Wolves on the field, one in the extra monster zone and one below it, you can use a fire effect monster and the Sunlight Wolf to go into another Sunlight Wolf, the 3rd copy from your extra deck, putting the Sunlight Wolf in the graveyard, and the Sunlight Wolf that you have on the field can loop a fire monster from your graveyard back into your extra deck, which would of course be the Sunlight Wolf. Next turn you summon another fire effect monster and use it and one of the 2 Sunlight Wolves to go into the 3rd Sunlight Wolf, putting the Sunlight Wolf from your graveyard back into your extra deck, and so on. However, for just 5 Link summons, in this instance you don't need to do this. You would just summon all 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf, and then use Playmaker's starting skill, which adds Decode Talker, so using 1 Sunlight Wolf and an effect monster to go into Decode Talker, and you could then use Decode Talker and another effect monster to go into Firewall Dragon. Also, the 1000 life point stuff can be done easily, as we've seen many times in this series with cards like Hieroglyph Lithograph, which is my go-to method here. I thought I have a mirror wall, but on this account I don't. I did not see the Cosmic Cyclone in this duel, but that was not important because I got all 3 copies of Hieroglyph Lithograph fairly early on, and that is quite lucky, since he has cards like Veil of Darkness or stuff like that to thin out his deck, and therefore running out of cards before I would. And if Hieroglyph Lithograph is at the very bottom of my deck or close to the bottom of my deck, I cannot do this. So lucky me this time around, and actually it was not a 2nd or 3rd or 4th attempt, it was the 1st attempt at doing these missions. Anyways, we performed our Link summons, we activate the Hieroglyph Lithographs to clear this mission, and therefore we can now go for game. And with this we cleared all 4 missions that we set out to clear in this duel, therefore finishing his unlock in just 2 duels. And I acknowledge the fact that I was lucky against him at level 30, that he didn't pose much of a challenge to me, and in the level 10 duel I was lucky as well to get my Hieroglyph Lithographs so early on, therefore making this a quick and easy unlock for him. However, we are not done, because we need to claim the mission rewards for all the stuff we just did, and then we can unlock him. And after that we are still not done, since they also added a skill for him to the card trader's skill exchange function. That I'm going to claim as well. But first things first, we here have Akira, finally. And then we can go to the card trader. Fun fact, by the way, Akira's unlock finally turns the character wheel of Vrains World into an actual wheel. But we are going to cover that in a few minutes, maybe, or in 1 minute, after checking out the skill for Akira that we get at the card trader's skill exchange function. So, what do we need to do? We just need to put some gold in and maybe a few stones, but that's not too difficult to accomplish and to do. I recently converted a lot of stuff, like cards, into gold and gems and so on, so that I have enough to claim all the skills that I still had left in the card trader's skill exchange function. Anyways, here we have Akira and here we have the wheel, which now is an actual wheel. We unlocked him, and that's all I've got to say here about Akira's unlock. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching.